Welcome in our panel. We have Democratic strategist and former New York State Senator David Carlucci and Republican strategist Andrea Kaye. Welcome both. Glad to see you. Andrea, why don't we start with you? We were just hearing from Hannah Brandt there, a National Intelligence Director, Tulsi Gabbard, openly accusing former President Obama and his officials in his administration of what she's calling treasonous conspiracy relating to the Russia investigations surrounding the 2016 election. Bottom line, what is in these files the DNI has released that wasn't already publicly available? Is there enough for a criminal case here?
Well, certainly I haven't seen all of the hundreds of documents that she's put out there, and we don't know what she's yet to release in the coming days, nor do we know the testimony of the whistleblowers. But look, she has produced documents that show that instead of them publishing in the presidential daily brief the truth that Russia had not attempted to interfere, nor did they, and this was after the election, nor did they interfere or have any effect on the outcome of the election, then what the Obama administration did was that they cooked up, they manufactured evidence that they then used as a part of an intelligence operation to launch multiple coup attempts against a free and fairly elected president of the United States. And to call that and to say that it's dangerous to make these allegations, well, why wouldn't every American want to get to the truth? Why wouldn't they say, okay, Tulsi, put out every document and we want a full investigation? And yes, if you prove that all the way up to President Barack Obama and all of his henchmen, if they did what you were alleging, then yes, we absolutely support any indictments, including up to Barack Obama. Look, we saw President Trump indicted from Florida to New York to Washington, D.C. We saw Americans dragged and thrown into prison over Jan 6. This is looking like this is the real insurrection. This is the real overthrow of a government, and every American should be behind Tulsi Gabbard in this investigation.
Wow, comparisons to January 6th. I mean, David, I want to get to you responding to something that Congressman Jim Himes said, but first I want to give you the floor.
Well, yeah, it's just shocking to hear these comments about saying that January 6th somehow that was on the same level of something like what Tulsi Gabbard is putting out. But this is barely enough to get a press release put together, let alone an actual indictment. To say that this treasonous behavior when you're not providing any details is it's just political theater. And it makes me, and I'm sure many Americans, start to question, what is the Director of National Intelligence actually doing? What is their mission? Is it to protect our country, or is it to just peddle conspiracy theories? Since you can't talk about Jeffrey Epstein anymore, you've got to find another one. And that's really what it looks like here.
So, David, Democratic Congressman Jim Himes says apart from the Democrats and Republicans involved, there's another group of people who could be upset by Gabbard's move. Let's take a listen.
The intelligence community is full of very, very good people who do their jobs every single day, and now they're watching their leader do something that each and every one of them knows is dishonest, and it is a really, really bad thing for the safety and security of the American people.
What do you make of Himes' comments?
I agree completely. This is a major concern for all of us, that this is about protecting our country, our nation, and instead, in a time of great peril where we have foreign conflicts and much to be concerned of, we're talking about things that happened almost 10 years ago with little substantiated evidence. And to put out these claims without putting out that evidence is terribly upsetting. And I think that is the problem that the congressman is talking about. And I think that's the opinion you're going to get from most Americans.
Andrea, I want to go back over to you before we have to wrap here. I mean, we hear David intimating that basically this is a distraction from the Epstein case that will not go away for Trump, that just keeps dogging him in the headlines. What is your response to that?
Well, I think two things can be going on at the same time. We could have conservatives like me, as well as fellow Democrats that are saying, President Trump, y'all need to release the Epstein files. And I have been on record now for weeks, at least the past week or two, talking about what an unforced error it has been on the part of Pam Bondi in the White House in regards to the Epstein files. After President Trump came out and called it a hoax, the Wall Street Journal is the one that turned the page for President Trump on that regard, with putting out that ridiculous, laughable story about a missive he supposedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Let me remind everybody, when it comes getting back to the original story, when it gets back to Tulsi Gabbard and this treasonous conspiracy, let me remind everybody that the Durham report ended up in an indictment against Michael Kleinsmith, who lied to a FISA court over Carter Page. And unfortunately for Americans, he was not ever fully held to account. But let the record show that crimes were documented. And I think what we are hopefully going to see going forward is that other people above Kleinsmith are going to be held accountable for this seditious.
Well, it just seems like this idea of sunlight, it just doesn't exist with the Trump administration. It seems like they're going to send out a floodlight, but leave blind spots all over. Just put out certain documents where it fits the narrative. And that's what we see here. It's like they're searching for this answer. They already have the conclusion. They're just looking for evidence to piece it together.
All right,
they're
David
trying
Carlucci, Andrea Kaye, I regret that we're out of time, but thank you both for joining us this evening. Thank you.
There's documentation already of crimes.
All right, from sleepers